motorbikes. They travel pretty well. Entire neighborhoods are now under emergency curfews. Just this past weekend, gunfire went through, and you saw that Navy Yard. I saw it this morning. They saw that they fought back against law. See, they fight back until you knock the hell out of them, because it's the only language they understand. But they fought back against law enforcement last night. And they're not going to be fighting back long, because I've instructed them and told them whatever happens, they love to spit in the face of the police as the police are standing up there in uniform. They're standing and they're screaming at them an inch away from their face. And then they start spitting in their face. And I said, you tell them, you spit and we hit. And they get hit real hard. It's a disgusting thing. I've watched that for years, for 3-4 years. I've watched them. The police are standing, and they're told, don't do anything under any such, so this, and you can see they want to get at it.
Breaking news. Donald Trump has officially federalized Washington, D.C.'s police department, and they have deployed the National Guards. And it seems that it's an all-out war going on in D.C. And there's a whole lot of disgusting rhetoric in this press conference. And we got to talk about some of this, because it's been a lot of dehumanization language. A whole lot of dehumanization language. I see y'all rolling in, staying sturdy. Salute to my brother Monologue in the building. What is happening, brother? Cynthia Hatley, Reggie Shade, I see y'all rolling in. Make sure y'all double tap the screen. This stream is very important. It's everything that we have been discussing for the last 6 months. And now we are officially seeing the federalization of Washington, D.C., my hometown, by the way. And they're engaging our people. This is how it begins. See, on social media and mainstream media, there has been so much, I would call it, character assassination of melanated people, that now we are officially viewed as the problem. They said they had black fatigue. They said that, we were a problem. And now the general public seems to be accepting what Donald Trump is doing, although it's completely unconstitutional. He's deploying the National Guard on its citizens, ladies and gentlemen. And he's doing this because not too long ago, a story broke where they allege some former Doge employee stopped a car mugging and took a beating. And they called the former Doge employee a hero. They actually nicknamed him Big Balls, which I think is some cold word stuff. That they were going to go ahead and do something ballsy, like what they're doing right now. And that is to engage our people in the city. It has begun.
And they're standing there, and people are spitting in their face, and they're not allowed to do anything. But now they are allowed to do whatever the hell they want.
They're allowed to do whatever the hell they want? Ladies and gentlemen, he's saying the National Guard can go to D.C. and do whatever the hell they want. Now, we know D.C. is Chocolate City. And by the way, the alleged car mugging that they brought forth involved some inner city youth, black teenagers. And now we have our U.S. president saying that, look, the National Guard can go in there and do whatever they want to do to them. This is extremely troubling, y'all. And if it's going to happen in D.C., who's to say it's not going to happen elsewhere? We have plenty of major cities where there's crime rates, but it seems to be race specific based on the story that was told to lead to this. The prelude to this whole event was a race story. So who you think they aiming at? And see, this is what it's all been about. Criminalizing Black people, criminalizing foundational Black Americans. And see, this race war is being fought in many ways. Let's go.
This dire public safety crisis stems directly from the abject failures of the city's local leadership. The radical left city council adopted no cash bail. By the way, every place in the country where you have no cash bail is a disaster. That's what started the problem in New York, and they don't change it. They don't want to change it. That's what started it in Chicago. I mean, bad politicians started it, bad leadership started it, but that was the one thing that's central: no cash bail. Somebody murders somebody and they're out on no cash bail before the day is out. We're going to end that in Chicago. We're going to change the statute. I spoke with Pam and Todd and everybody. We're going to change the statute, and I'm going to have to get the Republicans to vote because the Democrats are weak on crime, totally weak on crime. They don't know why. They want to stop because they get.
Now, I want you to hear some of the very inflammatory things that Donald Trump said about the people that he's engaging. I don't know why they got the timestamp negative. I can't tell where the timestamp is. I know he said it around the 2-hour mark, but I don't know how to find it the way they got it. Because this is live. This is actually breaking news. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up another news clip that's not live so y'all can hear what's going on. Because this is crazy. They're literally seizing control of DC right now. It's turning into a Fed state, and there will be many more Fed states. And the goal is to eradicate our people. He actually calls us savage. It seems like all of the news is live right now. So, wow, it's all live. So this is breaking. I have to go back. Once I heard that he was calling us savages, somebody said, click the timestamp again and change it. Let me try that. Cause y'all have to hear what he said, bro. It was alarming. I went live soon as I heard what he said. But I lost track of it. Let me see.
President Putin.
You have to change the timestamp. Yeah, but you see how they got the negative behind it. So it's hard to pinpoint exactly where he said it. But he called our people savages, bro. Called us savages. Let me see if I can locate it.
Just left. He quit because he was asked to do phony numbers on crime. And we're going to look into that. I think Pam is going to be looking into that. But he was asked by the city, I guess, that we don't want to show the real numbers. Let me do. Senator Rand Paul was stabbed in the chest and head by a demented lunatic as he walked down the street, just absolutely for no reason.
And they always coming up with these stories. And any crime that may be conducted by our people, they highlight it. They highlight it in order to criminalize us. And see, ladies and gentlemen, they're gonna be pinpointing Chicago, DC, New York. Y'all gotta understand that alleged NFL building shooting that took place in New York, that's all to bring back stop and frisk. What happened in Cincinnati is to bring back law and order reform. And see, listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's always been about us. Why do you think it's such a campaign to morally degrade Black Americans, foundational Black Americans? This is war. Because you have to dehumanize a group of individuals before you engage them. So when you hear people saying savages, they're savages, they're animals, we got to get them off the streets. They had that same type of talk when it came to the Indians that were here, the North American Indians, before they eradicated them. They said the same thing. And people are going to get lost in the shuffle. See, because there's good tax-paying citizens that live in the cities, hardworking Americans that add to this great country. But they seem to look at us as being problematic. And somebody in the chat said black on black killings is out of. There's no such thing as black on black crime. Let's get that out of there. It's no such thing. People people commit crimes against whoever they live near. You don't say the mob was practicing white on white crime. You don't say Chinese people are doing Chinese on Chinese crime. Stop it. We always highlight it for a reason, to make us seem like we're uncivilized. But anyway, let's continue.
Horrifically, last July 4th weekend, a 3-year-old girl was shot in the head and killed while sitting in a car near the Capitol. It's becoming a situation of complete and total lawlessness. And we're getting rid of the slums, too. We have slums here. We're getting rid of them. I know it's not politically correct. You'll say, oh, so terrible. No, we're getting rid of the slums where they live. Caravans of mass youth rampage through city streets at all times of the day.
Listen, I'm going to tell y'all this right now. They're getting ready to conduct certain sting operations. And these sting operations are going to be nothing more than hits. They're going to be hits carried out, allegedly. Because I can tell you right now, I'm from the DMV. I know people there. And I know that the city is not what it used to be. I know that it isn't an all out, it isn't all out lawlessness out there. This type of talk is to spearhead and push martial law. Ever since the pandemic, they've been trying to federalize DC. I grew up there. It's the most highly, listen, Washington, D.C. is the most highly policed city in America. You can't drive anywhere without police presence. It's everywhere. And there's been a lot of gentrification. This is directed towards a specific group of people. They're speaking in code as if this is all about criminals, and it's not. It's not. And I wouldn't be surprised if this goes outside of the DMV, goes outside of DC and hits PG County, Maryland, because that's where most of our people are at now. After DC has been gentrified for the most part.
There are ATVs, motorbikes. They travel pretty well. Entire neighborhoods are now under emergency curfews. Just this past weekend,
That's martial law. Now the neighborhoods are under emergency curfew. I told you, it's certain neighborhoods being targeted. They got the National Guards parked out of certain neighborhoods.
Times of the day, there are ATVs, motorbikes. They travel pretty well. Entire neighborhoods are now under emergency curfews.
Entire neighborhoods are under emergency curfews. Didn't I just tell y'all that? These are sting operations. He didn't say the whole city is under curfew. He said entire neighborhoods. That means he's going to the hood. Hear what he's talking about. Certain communities are being surveilled, as if it ain't good people in those communities. Y'all think it's cool to take away their freedom? They're pretty much imprisoned in their own community. There's student athletes that live in those communities. There's grandmothers. There's hardworking mothers and fathers that come home that have to work overnight or work the night shift, who have a curfew. Y'all don't understand how this is a breach of our civil rights. But this same individual won't release the Epstein Files. He won't release the Epstein Files, but he has all this energy to You know, basically surveillance and police our community. See, when they say clean up our community, they're talking about over policing us. Just a couple days ago, he was talking about going after the cartels. And I was about to do a video say, you know what? That's good. Go after the cartels. That lasted all but one day, 1 hour worth of news. Because we're not, the black community ain't the ones bringing these drugs over here. We don't own boats and own planes. Y'all bring the drugs over here, destroy our community, and then hyper police us in the nation's capital? Come on, man. Let's go.
Just this past weekend, gunfire went through, and you saw that the Navy Yard. I saw it this morning. They saw that they fought back against law. See, they fight back until you knock the hell out of them because it's the only language they understand. But they fought back against law enforcement last night.
They're claiming that we fought back. See, they're trying to go to war with our communities in D.C.
And they're not going to be fighting back long because I've instructed them and told them whatever happens, they love to spit in the face of the police as the police are standing up there in uniform. They're standing and they're screaming at them an inch away from their face, and then they start spitting in their face.
And you know, the reality of the situation is, yes, we want safe communities. I grew up in this city. We don't want senseless crime going on. But sending the National Guard is not the answer. The answer is more youth programs. I'm telling you, that's the answer. The answer is to set up more activities for the youth. These are the things that our tax dollars should be going towards. I lived there. I grew up here. Somebody said the answer is money, LOL. Yes, the answer is money. They're spending money on 9mm, bulletproof vests, tear gas, tasers to go over police our people. No, that money should be spent on youth programs. See, when they say clean up the city, to them it means engage us, over police us, break our civil rights, break our civil liberties. Lock the youth up with no impunity. Lock them up as grown men, charge them as adults.
And I said, you tell them, you spit and we hit.
And I'm going to go to X real quick. I'm going to play this, but I got to pull up some more sources for y'all, man, because what's happening right now is getting crazy.
And they can hit real hard. It's a disgusting thing. I've watched that for years, for 3-4 years. I've watched them. The police are standing, and they're told, don't do anything under any such, so this, and you can see they want to get at it. And they're standing there, and people are spitting in their face, and they're not allowed to do anything. But now they are allowed to do whatever the hell they want.
That's troubling. So they can engage us in our community, march through our neighborhoods, and do whatever the hell they want. So what are they doing? Walking in there, just stopping, frisking people, throwing people down, chasing people down? You mean to tell me, and this is based on a story that we were told last week about some former Doge employee that stopped a car mugging? This is sick. Somebody says, how do these youth programs come about? Can't expect people of the other nations to provide assistance for problems that face the so-called black community. Yeah, of course we can. But when we had the Black Panthers that was putting out the youth programs, the Kellogg's programs where they were feeding children breakfast, when the Black Panthers was setting up different boys and girls clubs and using their funding to do the right thing and help the community. What did J. Edgar Hoover do? Destroyed, infiltrated, and dismantled. Y'all got to stop acting like we don't try to deal with our own communities. Y'all come in here with these uneducated statements. This is breaking civil laws. And guess what? I'm going to tell you like this. This is going to spread all across the nation. It starts off in the capital. So some of y'all people in here, some of y'all dirty MAGA reps, y'all laugh now, cry later. When this whole country is under martial law, and unless you got a chip in your damn hand, you can't do nothing. Then you're going to come back and say, oh, I see what y'all people were going through. Get ready.
This dire public safety crisis stems directly from the abject failures of the city's local leadership. The radical left city council adopted no cash bail. By the way.
Okay, so look, this is what we're going to do now. I'm going to go to X real quick because I want his direct quotes. And we really got to see what's happening here. We really got to see what's happening here. What? Hold on. I'll play the audio while I pull this up. What's going on here? All right.
They're out on no cash bail before the day is out. We're going to end that in Chicago. We're going to change the statute. I spoke with Pam and Todd and everybody. We're going to change the statute, and I'm going to have to get the Republicans to vote because the Democrats are weak on crime. Totally weak on crime. They don't know why. They want to stop because they get mugged too. But we're going to change no cash bail. We're going to change the statute and get rid of some of the other things. And we'll count on the Republicans in Congress and Senate to vote. We have the majority, so we'll vote. We don't have a big majority, but we've gotten everything, including the great, big, beautiful bill. Got that done, and that's one of the greatest things that's ever happened to people in this.
The big, beautiful bill is horrible, man. It's a horrible bill, but look at this, y'all. Just then, Donald Trump vows that Washington, D.C. will be liberated. Just an hour before he's set to address the nation on how his administration plans to crack down on violent crimes in the Capitol. Look at this. I want y'all to hear what the president is saying here. Washington, D.C. will be liberated today. Crime, I want you to hone in on this word. Savagery. Crime, savagery, filth, and scum will disappear. Will disappear. I will make our capital great again. The days of ruthless killing or hurting innocent people are over. I'm quickly fixing the border, 0 illegals, and last 3 months, DC is next. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President DJT. Now I want all American citizens to see how problematic this is. But this type of language right here, is very, very daunting. It's daunting. It says, we will be liberated today. So they're liberated today. Crime, savagery. Now, in what other community are they throwing this word savages around? Savagery, filth, and scum will disappear. Somebody said, are you mad because they're talking about a certain culture? No, I'm mad. I'm not even, listen, I'm educating y'all. I'm educating y'all because what I want you to realize, is this is how it begins. Y'all okay with seeing us being targeted right now. But I'm telling you right now that these constitutional rights that are being violated and our community being targeted the way it is alarming. And also, this is a dog whistle to other potential white supremacists. This is a dog whistle. And he's speaking in code. If Trump can get up here and say he's talking about purging foundational Black Americans in DC, then that's what he would say. If he could say that, then that's what he would say. This type of rhetoric right here is code. They speak in code. They speak in code. Yeah, this is like a KKK dog whistle to let his audience know that he's still down like 4 flats. He's still down with the cause. He has to appease his white nationalist supporters. But also at the same time, the battle always been against the children of Israel. Foundational Black Americans. The battle has always been against God's people, bro. They've always dehumanized us. They've always targeted us. This ain't nothing new. This ain't nothing new. Look at this.
And, when you say take a look at numbers, I just saw some charts. These are different cities throughout the world. Red is, okay, the red is a place called Washington, D.C. Look at these. Baghdad we doubled up on Baghdad.
And for the record, man, I'm not defending criminals. I'm not defending any heinous crimes that may be being committed by anyone. What I'm trying to simply do is defend our constitutional rights. Deploying a National Guard to our neighborhoods in particular is not the problem. I mean, it's not the solution for our people. And the president saying, look, go do whatever you want to do to those people, that's not the solution. Because y'all got to understand, even if somebody is a National Guard, they're still a human being. And human beings make errors. And when you send a bunch of people into neighborhoods, specific neighborhoods, as Trump highlighted, when you do that, people are liable to become the same animals that they're searching for. People are liable to become the savages while they go on a witch hunt, because that's what it is. Go on a witch hunt and do whatever you want to do in their communities. Who's the target? How did this turn it? How did some story about some Doge employee turn into a damn sting operation in Washington, D.C. neighborhoods? How did this happen?
Panama City, Brasilia, San Jose, Costa Rica, Bogota, Colombia, heavy drugs. Mexico City, I mentioned, Lima, Peru, all double and triple what they are. So do you want to live in places like that?
Yeah, with a person named Big Balls. That was planned for months. You got it right. And I see Dirty MAGA is in here. Listen, they're laughing now. They're happy about this now. But just wait. Just wait. Don't you even worry about it. Because America is becoming completely fragmented. You got the Goipers, you got MAGA, you got Dirty MAGA, you got all these fractions that are splitting the country. But I'm going to say this about all those fractions. The one common denominator is, brothers and sisters, if you're hearing me clearly, the one common denominator is they will unite to destroy us. We are the common enemy. Even if they make it seem like we're unimportant, Even if they make it seem like we are no one and we're not a threat, listen, we are God's people. We always will be a threat. So no matter what they say, they will unite to target us.
I don't think so. I don't think so. And I think the people in this room, if you wrote correctly, you'd see, look at the kind of numbers we have. DC, 41 per 100,000, number one that we can find anywhere in the world. Other cities are pretty bad, but they're not as bad as that. Is that where you want to live? The reporters of the world? Juvenile offenders and crimes against persons, as they say. It's getting worse. Not getting better, it's getting worse. And we had a recent indication. There was a story about a man who was just left. He quit because he was asked to do phony numbers on crime. And we're going to look into that. I think Pam is going to be looking into that. But he was asked by the city, I guess, that we don't want to show the real numbers. Let me do numbers so it looks like it's going down. Not going down. And under Biden, it was a disaster. And nobody did anything about it. We're going to do things about it like you wouldn't believe. Every American has a constitutional right to be able to access and petition their government in safety and countless federal.
And that's what has to happen. He has to say that, but there should be the right to protest. DC should be protesting right now. You know, DC should be protesting and saying, hey, hold on now. So you're only going to be targeting our communities? No, that's not good. Yeah, and crime has been down in DC. I don't believe nothing that these people say. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. Let's see. Let's get this person out of here. Yeah. When you come over to this platform, just know that you need to listen and don't say anything inflammatory or involuntary in the chat because you got to go. We're not doing none of that. I know there's a lot of trolls in because it's a lot of people who are from MAGA in here. And they don't want to hear the truth. They don't understand what this really means when you see the president start to federalize cities. It's becoming a Fed state. Yeah, certain people, you know, you can't come in here talking crazy. You will be respectful in here. Let's go.
Officials and employees likewise have the right to carry out their jobs in peace without being shot. As you know, I lost a very good person.
And they always got a story of how they lost somebody. And they claiming that we're fighting back. We need to see footage of us fighting back. I would love for them to really showcase that. They're saying that we in DC fighting back. The president said that. So we should be able to find some footage that's coming out in the near future, whether it be cell phone footage or news footage of people in DC fighting the National Guards. Or are they just trumping up and pushing, you know, a certain narrative? This is crazy, y'all. Hold on real quick. Let me see. Look at
No
this.
offense, but if you're paying more than $30 a month on car insurance, you're getting ripped off. Everybody knows you can.
President Trump has increased federal law enforcement in the nation's capital, but some are pushing back against the crackdown and the new announcement expected from President Trump tomorrow. Here's ABC's Christiane Cordero.
Tonight, the nation's capital is bracing for a new announcement from President Trump. The White House plans to hold a press conference tomorrow that Trump says would essentially stop violent crime in D.C. It's not clear what Trump is planning, but it comes after he ordered the deployment of federal law enforcement agents to patrol the city.
I'm going to tell y'all this right now. D.C. always looks like this. I mean, it always looks like this. When you go downtown D.C., literally, you see police on every street corner. In D.C., for the most part, it's clean. So what y'all got to understand, they're not talking about downtown DC where everybody's out, everybody's partying, everybody's having a good time. No. What the news is not showing you is that they're going to neighborhoods, Berry Farms. They on Livingston Road and you know, in the hood, surrounding the hood with National Guards. That's what's happening right now. Yeah, DC is clean. DC is clean. Yeah, they go into certain neighborhoods. They out there in Wingates and different places. Trump said it. He said they got certain neighborhoods under control, under siege. Yeah, and all the National Guards, y'all took an oath to the Constitution first. This is unconstitutional. The National Guard can't go to neighborhoods and be swatting and raiding people, going on a damn witch hunt. Y'all think it's okay because it's our people, but it's coming to y'all's neighborhoods too. Soon as they get this damn beast system, you know, fully complete, and ye can't buy or sell, say if ye have the mark. Then when your little neighborhoods is under surveillance, when you got a 15-minute smart city and you can't do nothing without police presence or military presence, then you gonna say, wow, I see what's going on. See, they always run this stuff out on us first. They always run it out on us first. Let's go.
The ATF and U.S. Park Police are among the agencies posting photos on social media of agents out in the city. Last night, D.C. police say they arrested a minor for allegedly firing a gun towards a crowd in the busy Navy Yard neighborhood. No one was injured.
We have a capital that's very...
I mean, I don't believe that. See, they keep on targeting minors right now for a reason. There's a reason they're targeting minors. I don't believe them. What's the minor's name? Who is this minor? Put his picture up. Who is this guy? Do anybody in a city know about a young boy firing a gun at the Navy Yard towards people? See, y'all listen, y'all don't question the news about nothing. And this happens right after they claim some minors beat up the Doge employee, the former Doge employee. No, I don't believe the news. Somebody says you can't say the minor name on the news like that. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Carmelo Anthony's name was plastered all over the news. What are you talking about? Because if he fired a gun over the Navy Yard, he just committed a federal crime. His face should be all over the news. What are you talking about? You can't put a minor's picture up, fool. Are you crazy? I'm not even gonna argue with y'all because y'all just gonna say y'all saying anything. A minor that just committed a federal crime can't be plastered on the news. What world y'all living in? Anyway, we're not even gonna talk about that. Let's go.
Safe. We're gonna do something about it.
For years, Trump has criticized Washington, D.C. as unsafe and dangerous. This week, he suggested the federal government could take over the city after a government staffer who used to work for Elon Musk was attacked in an attempted carjacking.
See, here go the lie. Somebody who worked for Elon Musk got attacked in D.C. trying to stop a carjacking. I don't believe none of this. How many of y'all, by show of ones, because let's just do a quick poll real quick. How many of y'all, by show of ones, believe that this is true? That this situation really took place? Let's see how much dirty magazine. By show of twos, you don't believe it. By show of ones, you believe it. Show of twos, you just don't even seem right. I want to see how many thinking people I actually got. Wow. Okay. Okay. Even though MAGA is in here strong. All right. So look, listen, this is our point of agreement right here, because even some of MAGA don't believe it from what I'm looking at. Some of these people in here aren't my day ones, but they don't even believe this. Listen, this should be our point of agreement right here. Neither one of us agree that this story is real. But here's the thing. They use this story. They use this story to engage our neighborhoods. This is the propaganda that they put out on the news to engage us. So therefore, we can't believe anything that they're telling us at this point. That's the point I'm making, that we're being lied to. So I see more twos than ones, that's actually a good sign. That's actually a good sign. Because even though we got the bigots and we got the meth heads in here, at least they don't believe everything. We got the inbred hicks in the building, MAGA. They're in here. They're watching. But they don't believe this story, and that's crazy. Anyway, let's go.
According to authorities,
This has to be the best run place in the country. You're going to be safe walking down streets. You're not going to get mugged.
while Washington was one of America's deadliest cities in 2023, violent crime has been down for 2 straight years.
Violent crime has been down in D.C. for 2 straight years. It's been down for 2 straight years. I believe violent crime in D.C. been down longer than that. When I go to D.C., it's almost like a culture shock. I grew up in this city. The last time I went there, I couldn't believe what I seen. Some of the neighborhoods where I know brothers was dying on. Some of the blocks that I grew up on where people were fighting over, it was people eating falafels, riding scooters. I said, what? They were riding their bikes right in the middle of the street. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Now, there were still some neighborhoods that were bad, because I went to the hood. I had to go to the hood. And I went there to go visit my cousin. And yeah, it was a lot of janky people out there. I didn't really stay long. I'm not saying that I have an issue being around my people. It's not that. It's just that I've been through so much in that city. I'm watching everybody. I'm watching everything. And I just, don't want to put myself in that particular environment. But some of them neighborhoods, they do have, some issues, right? But I can also see that the solution is not sending the National Guard. People just need more to do. Vicky Davis says, if you haven't seen Civil War, watch it. A revolution is about to happen. I agree. Somebody said it's not meth, it's fentanyl. That's their new dope. Right. Yep. And that's true. Poor neighborhoods always have issues. I mean, that's more of a status. That's more of a status problem. Poor neighborhoods are going to have issues because, they're underdeveloped, underfunded. And poverty does what poverty do. Right? But let's go.
Hitting a 30-year low in January. Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser is pushing back on the president's claims.
That's right. You see that? She most likely FBA. You see this woman right here? He's claiming a bunch of nonsense. He's claiming that we out here acting like wild savages and we turn the streets up. She's saying, no, that ain't true. Look at that face. It speaks volumes. They say a picture says 1,000 words. This lady is like, crime been down the last 2 years. What the hell are you doing? Because they want to engage our people. I told y'all there was a federalization of our communities that they were targeting us. I just made a video about this not too long ago. Meanwhile, he's hiding the Epstein Files. She looking like, what? Everything he up there saying is a damn lie. There was no need for him to deploy the National Guard in D.C. Let me see. Jacob's News, he posted as of August 5th, 2025, there have been 95 homicides reported in Washington, D.C. 95 is, that's a little high. And the only reason I say that's a little high is because D.C. is not a big city. It's really not. You can fit D.C. inside of Baltimore 4 times. It's really just a district. So I don't know if those numbers are the whole DMV, like DC, Maryland, and Virginia, or DC and the surrounding areas. But DC is not, 95 is high. That's, if that number is accurate, that is high. But we don't even know if these numbers are accurate. And we don't know if it's talking about just DC. Let's go.
If the priority is to show force in an American city, we know he can do that here. But it won't be because there's a spike in crime.
Lindsay,
y'all hear the sister? Y'all hear the sister? She says if he deploys the National Guard, it's for other reasons. It's not because it's a spike in crime. DC has chilled out so much, bro. You know how many people I still talk to in the city? It ain't nothing like it was when we was growing up. It ain't nothing like it. When I grew up in DC, y'all got to understand, bro. We had one summer, we had 170 murders out that jump. We were the number one city for homicide. And we're not even a city. Do y'all understand how 90s and the early 2000s was in DC and Baltimore? Matter of fact, the whole DMV area. Even parts of Virginia. Do y'all know how bad it was? Like, I'm telling you, you go to DC right now, it is clean. You're going to enjoy yourself. Crime has been down. Yep, V-Dub says it's actually 99 homicides down from 112 of last year. Right. Somebody else says, I just checked, DC isn't even the top 25 cities of crime for 2025. Right, but Trump just came with an erroneous claim that DC was number 4. That's what Trump just lied and told the people. Look.
Here, but it won't be because there's a spike in crime. Force in an American city, we know he can do that here. But it won't. If the priority is to show force in an American city, we know he can do that here.
claims.
If the priority is to show force in an American city, we know he can do that here. But it won't be because there's a spike in crime.
Wow.
Lindsay, the president.
Wow. If he wants to show force, he can do that there because Trump is flexing. Why? Because he got people coming to DC and they see that it's not that clean in certain areas. In certain areas, he's flexing. But if he really want to flex, won't you release them Epstein files? That part. That's who you really need to be. You need to be sending the National Guards to these trafficking rings. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see. Leave DC's neighborhoods alone. Leave DC's neighborhoods alone. Matter of fact, look at this. Trump zeroes in on federal takeover of DC. We got a federal takeover of DC.
Are you ready to sell your house? I will buy it.
Next is coming Chicago.
4 hours or less. We're standing by this morning.
Look at this. Next, y'all gonna start seeing the damn FEMA camps The internment camps. What's next? And notice he said, people basically listen, it's the savagery will disappear. That's saying that, listen, there's going to be some people missing. That's how I take that. Let's go.
For President Trump to speak at the White House, he's expected to address crime in the nation's capital once again as he is threatening a federal takeover of the district's local government. Over the weekend, the administration launched, as you call it, a crackdown in D.C. involving up to 450 federal officers. And now a source is telling CNN that the plans are going even further. And now the plans call for as many as 130 FBI agents.
Wow, they're sending the FBI out. They're sending the feds out. Everybody double tap the screen. Let's get the likes matching the views, y'all. Let me see. Never mind. Let's let them rock out. Let's go.
To patrol the streets with DC police, which, to say the least, would be highly unusual. The president's floated the possibility of deploying the National Guard even there as well. All of this despite that the numbers don't necessarily match the rhetoric.
The numbers don't match the rhetoric. 2024 versus 2025. Crime is down in DC. So what is the real objective? What is the real goal right now? Crime is down in DC. Let's go.
Stats and the data show that violent crime has dropped in DC compared to this time last year. CNN's Elena Train is at the White House. His fixation on this is only getting more fixated, not less, despite what the numbers say. What are you expecting to hear from the president today?
Somebody says, old school rules. She says, so why release the feds when crime's down? Exactly. Because this is about turning American cities into fed states. It's about control. It's about tyranny. Starting off with the Black community. That's what's happening right now. The federalization and criminalization of Black people in America. They literally have y'all believing that we commit the most crimes in the country, and it's a lie. First of all, we're a marginalized group, and we don't make up enough of the country for us to make up the mass majority of the crime. But guess what? The prison pipeline is full of what? Blacks and Latinos. Blacks and Latinos. Let's go.
Well, I put it this way, Kate. We've definitely seen, of course, the president repeatedly try to...
That's right, real 80s. The goal is use Black people as a proxy for martial law. In middle America, y'all need to see this because this is y'all's nation's capital. This is y'all's nation's capital. And their goal is to make martial law in America at any time they would like to. Have boots on the ground in your communities.
paint himself as a law and order man, a law and order president. We've also seen him repeatedly this term push the boundaries of his executive authority. And we're really going to see both of those things kind of escalate today when he addresses reporters at 10 a.m. in the White House briefing room. Now, I'm expecting to hear a lot of the same things we've seen the president post over the weekend. Just to give you one of them from yesterday, he said, quote, "The homeless have to move out immediately. We will give you places to stay, but far from the Capitol." He went on to say, "The criminals, you don't have to move out. We're going to put you in jail."
Wow. Hold on now. Look at this. The homeless, this is Donald J. Trump. You can't make up this stuff. The homeless have to move out immediately. Where the hell the homeless gonna move out to? The homeless have to move out immediately. I want y'all just to pay attention to the disregard for human life. Just pay attention to the disregard for human life. The homeless have to move out immediately. Where are they going to move to? And if they don't move out, what are you going to do to them? Some of these homeless people are disabled and they can't go a 10-block radius. Some of them got gout. Some of them got, mental issues. I tell you where they're going. FEMA camps. They're going to FEMA camps. He needed to federalize DC so they can just start packing people up. Y'all not paying attention to what's going on. They're going into FEMA camps, never to be heard from, never to be seen again. Homeless move out. We will give you places to stay, but far from the capital. Oh, yeah, you're going to give them places to stay. FEMA camps. The criminals, you don't have to move out. We're going to put you in jail where you belong. And criminals do belong in jail. But crime is down, but our whole entire neighborhoods are being over-policed. So how are y'all going to find these criminals? How are y'all going to locate them? Sting operations? Y'all going to kick down doors? Y'all going to go on a witch hunt? Y'all going to place our community under siege? And we're not going to say nothing about it? Nah. Let's go.
Where you belong. Now, I think it's important to note, Kate, as you mentioned, we have seen crime in D.C. actually drop in recent years, not just from this time last year, but also
we've seen crime drop in D.C.
Also, when you look back to 2023, from those numbers as well. And we are seeing the president take things to a level you haven't really seen in this city. So as you mentioned, this event comes after we saw the president launch a surge of these federal law enforcement agencies. We were told by a White House official that 450 officers were expected to participate. And then we also have, from a source familiar, that we could see as many as 130 FBI agents.
That's right. South Park definitely exposed Trump in bed with the devil. Definitely in bed with the devil. Somebody says, let me see. I seen an interesting comment. Let me see if I can catch that. Man. Let me see. Let me read V-Dub's comment. It says, they building more jails in the middle of the swaps. The same swaps the Seminoles beat them in. Right. See, it ain't nothing new under the sun, man. This is a war tactic right here. That's what this is.
Patrolling the city alongside DC police. And it's, again, notable. It's not typical for FBI agents to be doing this type of work, Yeah,
it's not typical for FBI agents to be doing this. It's not. I mean, we're not even in a time where you're dealing with high crime like it was in the 90s, and the FBI didn't get involved then. It was just the police. So the FBI getting involved, why? Anyway, let's continue.
Looking at license plates to see which vehicles may have been stolen, other things like that. Now, all of this, as we've also heard, Trump's Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, Stephen Miller, I mean, he's compared this city to a war zone. He said it's, quote, more violent than Baghdad. It's more violent than parts of Ethiopia. And
that's a lie. DC is not that bad. And see, this is the programming right here. Talking about DC is worse than Baghdad. How many of y'all believe that, man? Man, if you go to DC right now, I promise you it ain't that bad. I promise y'all DC is not that bad. It's too policed. It's a lie, y'all. The numbers show us that crime have went down. That's a lie. And this is all based on some Doge employee stopping a carjacking. I don't believe nothing they talking about. Yeah, DC is a typical city. People enjoy going to DC.
It's been really striking to see over this past several days now, ever since the president 5 days ago had threatened the surge of federal law enforcement. We've notably not heard a lot from local officials. That included the D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser. However, we did hear her break her silence yesterday when she went on one of the Sunday shows. Listen to what she said.
Any comparison to a war-torn country is hyperbolic and false.
Hyperbolic and false. But y'all not trying to hear the FBA sister what she's talking about. Y'all not trying to hear that. Even our own people, these raccoons out here, they want to see our people destroyed. She's telling you that Donald Trump sent the National Guard under false pretenses.
Very specific things in our law that would allow the president to have more control over our police department. None of those conditions exist in our city right now.
None of them. He has no legitimacy behind what he's doing. It's what the DC mayor is saying. DC mayor, a sister. And I'm telling you, they're targeting her. Because I seen what Fox News was trying to do. They brought up Marion Barry and how he would smoke crack and got caught with prostitutes. And they alluded to, we need new leadership that's not black. That's what they alluded to. We need a white governor of DC. That's what they alluded to. This sister been the governor of DC and crime has been down. Donald Trump is lying and it's evident. It's a blatant lie. It's a blatant lie. And I know people in the city. I know what the climate is out in them streets. And it is nowhere near what they trying to say. So there's an agenda behind what they're doing.
I mentioned, we are not experiencing a spike in crime. In fact, we're watching our crime numbers go down.
Through Rula,
Yep.
It's easier to connect with a therapist.
Oh, man. These damn ads, bro.
Says you heard her say there, we're watching our crime numbers go down. But again, this is the first term we've heard.
Yeah, I meant to say she's the mayor, not the governor. Pardon me. Freudian slip. The mayor says that crime is down. She's the mayor.
Bowser address this since all of this began, and it's been, again, very notable. We haven't heard from many local law enforcement officials speaking up about this. Something notable as well for me was that Bowser did not direct the president or attack the president directly, all to say, waiting to see what the president will actually say when we see him at 10 a.m.
So even the law enforcement, they're reserving comments right now. DC law enforcement is reserving comments. They're not speaking up on it right now because, you know, they're trying to wait to see what the president is doing. But listen, if they don't speak up, he's going to do what he want to do.
Well, of course, bringing the news there. Kate.
They say Miami is #1 on violent crime list. I don't know. I haven't checked the crime list lately, but I know it ain't DC.
At the White House, Force. Thank you so much, Elena.
With us now is Executive Committee Chair for the New York State Democratic Party, Christine Quinn, and Republican strategist Neil Chatterjee. And Christine, I just want to start with you here because the crime stats are what they are. Why is this still potentially a potent political issue for the president?
Well, crime is always top or very high on people's lists of concerns because no one wants their city or town to go back to as dangerous as it might have been in the 80s or 90s.
You hear what she just said? In the 80s and 90s, that's when DC was bad. This ain't the 80s and 90s. Any OG in DC will tell you, any street cat would tell you that DC is not doing what it used to do at all.
But also, I think President Trump, and you can't really argue this, has had almost a war against urban America or blue urban America.
He has had a war against urban America. And I agree. I would go as far as say the world has a war against urban America.
Which much of urban America is. And this is another example of the facts be damned. Today, he's talking a lot, or yesterday, about homelessness. Homelessness in D.C., based on the point in time survey, which is federally mandated, is down 9%. This is an issue of him really wanting to stick it to Democratic mayors in urban America when he should be focusing on things like his cuts in the budget.
Yeah, I believe he's trying to target that sister For whatever reason, he's trying to target that sister. She doing a good job. She got crime down in the city. And she's being targeted for what?
Could reduce policing in urban America and dramatically cut back homelessness services, which will raise homelessness.
Neil, I haven't heard a single Republican have an issue.
Everything that these damn these Romans do, the Roman Empire, these damn Idumean damn Vikings do, everything is in reverse. All right. So if they say they want to get homelessness down, they probably really want to bring it up. If they say that crime is down, they probably want to bring crime up by antagonism. They always in reverse. They like to come and disrupt our peace. That's the common denominator. They always coming in our communities to disrupt our peace. Yeah. Yeah, they are the Roman Empire. Them Anglo-Saxons. Anglo-Saxons. These Edomites. These Edomites always want to, attack our communities when we living in peace.
With this, either locally in DC or nationally, the stats are what they are. DC is a different thing than any other city because the federal government has more power there. But how comfortable are you with this extension of federal power?
Yeah, look, stats and numbers are one thing. What people actually experience and feel is another.
Wow, what people experience and feel, and this is a chocolate-covered Edomite. It's a chocolate-covered Edomite who's scared. Yeah, when I go outside, I'm just scared out here, and I see the dreadlocks. They're wearing dreadlocks, and I'm out here. The numbers say crime is down, but the way I feel, I just feel a certain way. Every time I get around black people in DC, I just feel like, they may do something. They play go-go music. They be out here beating their feet. All those congos. The whole swag thing they got going on, I don't know. It's like you feel some type of way. You feel some type of way, but the numbers say crime down, so shut up. Yeah, they listening to TCB and UCB and all these go-go music just everywhere. I mean, the live bands, they playing live bands and it's just crazy out here. Listen to this, bro. Listen to this, the way he feel.
Actually experience and feel is another. I live here. I used to work next door to the CNN studio in Washington, D.C. at the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. I got to tell you, when I would walk to Union Station at night after work, I was very uncomfortable.
But ain't nobody knock you over your head. Ain't nobody do nothing to you. I was just scared. I walked and I was scared. See, that's what I'm talking about. And these are the type of people who wanna send the feds on people. Scary type. Yeah, federalize it. Turn it into a fed state because I'm scared. Turn DC to a fed state because I was scared walking to work. Nobody did or said anything to you, but you were scared.
Walk through a lot of seedy situations. And so,
man, you ain't walked through no seedy situations. You just soft. Baby whoopee cushion soft.
You can throw out statistics and surveys all you want. The fact is, people who live here, people who visit here in the nation's capital, they feel uncomfortable. And the president.
So we're supposed to, and this is what I'm talking about. Because all this is happening because how people feel. There's always been a fear for our people. Because they're afraid of us. Because we intimidate them. They think they should criminalize us and engage us. Crime rate is down, but look, let's push the goalpost. Let's just get rid of them because we feel scared when we go to Union Station. They look thuggish. Let's just engage them. Come on, man. These are the type of people. This is the reason why the feds always targeting our people. These type of I would call them malicious civilian threats, real malicious civilian threats, because these are people that hit the feds up with lies and all that. Yeah, they're just outside. I don't know why they're outside. They're out here eating wings and they got fries with mumbo sauce, and I can't even go to the carryout because there's always these guys at the carryout eating fries with mumbo sauce.
Senses that and wants to do something about it, and I applaud him for it.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44. And Christine, one last question on this. What's the risk for Democrats here? We didn't hear from Washington, D.C.'s mayor until vaguely over the weekend, and only a little bit there. Why are Democrats being so careful about this?
Well, I think overall Democrats are being too careful in general, is my opinion. And I think facts do matter. If you're the leader of the country, if you're the mayor of a city, facts matter. You have to decide how to put your resources out there.
You're damn right facts matter, not how somebody feel. Because Winnie the Pooh out here feels scared when he walked through Union Station.
Based on what is real. And you know what? One of the reasons there has been some challenges around prosecutions for crimes in D.C. is that both President Biden...
Yeah, somebody said it. Jordan Prince of Judah said he definitely wouldn't like it out here in Atlanta, for real. He definitely wouldn't like Atlanta. I live in the area. He definitely wouldn't like it.
Biden and President Trump haven't filled the judges' seats that are necessary to be federally appointed to prosecute crime in D.C. If he wants to help D.C. keep crime down, that's what he should do. And you need to lead based on the facts.
Joining me now to talk about this and more is Congressman Subramaniam of Virginia. He represents the suburbs outside of D.C. Congressman, thanks for being here. We're going to talk about a lot of things, but let's talk about this escalation in language against the district over homelessness problem, over juvenile crime. I think he's mentioned the graffiti. There's going to be a press conference today. What do you see and how he's talking about this? Does it merit federal action?
Every city got graffiti. And he's telling you they're already telling y'all who next. Chicago's next. Only reason he did DC first is because he live in DC. He live in the White House. He's trying to clean up his home base first. But Chicago's next.
Yeah, his words just make it clear. He doesn't care about the homeless people. He doesn't care about the city. He just wants the homeless people out of his sight. And he's acting on crime right now because a Doge employee got attacked. And so, yes, homelessness is a problem in D.C. Crime is a problem in D.C. like it is in many cities. But I think it's special to him because it's him and his inner circle see it, and that's what is affecting them. And so I would say generally, if he wants to address all these issues, how about start by actually funding D.C. and giving it the federal funding that it has been set aside for?
Man, that's all we saying. Give D.C. the funding it needs. It's not rocket science, people. It's not rocket science.
Over the years, they've been withholding funding for DC this session in Congress, and that'd be a much better way to tackle homelessness, funding the police here, for instance, to be able to do their jobs rather than this rhetoric. And generally, I see this rhetoric from President Trump and his administration.
It's not just rhetoric in terms of they've got now some federal agents from various departments that are going to be supporting the district when it comes to crime prevention. Do you see this as a step towards... The most extreme would be revoking home rule, saying D.C. can't run itself.
Yeah, because D.C. is his own district. Will he evoke home rules? D.C. is like a country in itself. So, man, federalizing it is crazy.
In what ways is he encroaching on how DC's run?
Yeah, it's the law, the home rule. It's the law right now to give DC the autonomy to address these issues. If the president and this Congress want to help with crime, they can do that. If they want to help with homelessness, they can do that. What I don't think is very helpful, though, is when they withhold funding like they have in the past. They just talk about this problem and talking about moving people out of their sight, away from...
Now, I'm going to tell y'all right now, y'all going to have the raccoons come out of the woodworks and see this here and say, yeah, get rid of them. Although crime is down 26% in DC. So anybody that get on this good internet here and they applaud what's going on in DC, they're part of the problem. They are part of the problem because crime is down 26%. That's the facts, regardless of how people feel and regardless of that fake ass story that they put across. That fake story about some dude named Big Balls who got beat up. The numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. And DC don't deserve this. And neither does our neighborhoods. But the raccoon tethers, they're always going to go against foundational Black Americans no matter what. They don't see the difference between right and wrong. They are completely sold out.
DC, because I live in Virginia. That's my district and my home. And so is there a plan to move people to Virginia to get rid of the people in DC who are struggling? How about helping them directly? How about getting them funding? How about getting them housing here in DC, their home, right?
Right. He's just scared. He's just like, yo, don't have them come to my city. But he ain't got to worry about that because they're going to be putting them in FEMA camps. Now, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I just had to cover this. This is breaking news. I got more material coming. Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know what y'all think about this whole debacle, man. It's getting crazy. Y'all be blessed out there. Peace.